Do non-Jews have a soul? I have been taught from Tanya, he's referring to chapter 2, end of chapter 1, chapter 2, Nefesh Hashenis B'Yisrael, that only Jews have a divine soul. Non-Jews do not. I'm uncomfortable with his teaching. I want to know if this is truly what the Alter Rebbe himself taught. And how is this consistent with the fact that the Torah says that all humans originating from Adam,
והגויים לא קרויים אדם.
לא קרויים?
לא קרויים אדם, לא קוראים להם אדם.
אוקיי, אז מה קוראים להם?
אדם זה אדם הוא בן אדם שהוא שונה מהבהמה. אם הבן אדם עושה את מעשה הבהמה, אז הוא כמו הבהמה, מה זה שווה?
We're created in the divine image. And that we have an obligation to influence them, the non-Jews that is, to keep the Noahide laws given by God at Sinai.
Well, what's the punishment if you transgress the Noahide laws? Death.
Question 2, which is an extension of, obviously, this topic. What does it mean in Perek Aleph of Tanya when it says, Chesed le'umim chatos? Aren't all people equal? Are there no genuinely kind non-Jews? What of all those righteous Gentiles who saved thousands of lives in the Holocaust? There was a yechidus with college students in Tov Shin Chof, 1960. Dr. Block from London, Ontario. Yitzchok Block brought these students. They asked questions to the Rebbe, and the Rebbe responded. It was then written down, and later was discovered by myself an edited version, which we actually published for my son's bar mitzvah. So it's an edited version. One of the questions, close to the end, was that they heard from Dr. Block that Jews, non-Jews, do not have divine souls. Is this true? Now, this is not included in the Rishima, the transcript of the Rebbe's words, but Dr. Block confirmed it to me because I asked him. He said the Rebbe responded. You'll see in the published version it just says the Rebbe answered. The Rebbe responded, tell Dr. Block, who, mind you, was standing there in the room with them, that he's wrong. They don't have a Jewish spark or soul. They don't have a Jewish soul, but they have their own divine spark.
We know that non-Jews were created for a purpose. They're God's creations, and they have the place in the world.
יעבדוך עמים, יעבדוך עמים, וישתחוו לחלומי, יעבדוך עמים. It says here, יעבדוך עמים. The lands will work for you. יעבדוך עמים.
So in the Hanoche that's printed with edits, it doesn't say, tell Dr. Block he was wrong. It just says that they don't have a Jewish one, they have another spark. Which the truth is a Gemara and a Tosfos in Masechta Yevomis. And I refer you to page 230 in volume 13 of Likutei Sichos. The Rebbe has a whole series of footnotes there explaining the Rambam at the end of Shemitah V'Yevel, where he talks about different elements of non-Jews and makes it very, very clear that Kol Ish V'Isha Shenod V'Libei, that can be Kedesh Kedoshim, Holy of Holies, is referring also to non-Jews. Quotes the Tosfos that speaks about Eitzer, Shenikra Guf, that there's an Eitzer of Neshamis, like a collection where Neshamis reside, and there's a particular one for non-Jews. As the Rambam paskins, Chsidu Meselim Yeshlem Chelik Le'elam Haba. Righteous Gentiles have a place in the world to come. What is that if not a soul? And of course, especially when you read the end of the Rambam, that Mashiach's times is indicated by what? By Lo Yeh Eisa Kol Ha'elam El L'Dasas Hashem B'Lvad. That the entire world would be preoccupied only with knowing God. And it's very clear he's talking about non-Jews, because then he says, and Yisrael will be Chachomim V'Neveinu as he goes on. Citing, of course, the pasuk in Yeshaya, Kimola Orez Deis Hashem Kamayim Layom Echas. A world filled with divine knowledge as the waters cover the sea. And since we're at the threshold of the Geula, as the Rebbe makes clear, and we have 7 billion people on earth, and only 14 million of them are Jews, so what happens with the rest of them? They're close to 7 billion.
In Isaiah chapter 63, the day of the great and terrible day of the Lord, it says that the Lord will come out from a place called Edom, and he will crush Edom.
Asking what's going to be with the Goyim when Mashiach comes. Will they be destroyed and annihilated? Someone asked, who cares? Okay.
They're going to be, they are the threshold of knowing God. What knows God? Someone without a soul. So of course then you'll ask the question, so what is he talking in Tanya? And Tanya is talking about a particular Nefesh Hashenis B'Yisrael, a Nefesh Elokis that's unique to Jews, and that's not a contradiction. The truth is everything in existence has a soul. There's something on earth that cannot have a spirit.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm a Jew, and I just like to say that, in our Bible it says that you're like animals.
What Bible are you reading from?
The Bible that was made a long, long time ago.
The Arizal says there's a nefesh ha-deimemis, there's a nefesh ha-tzemeches, there's a nefesh ha-chaya. Even a daimim, a mineral, an inanimate mineral has a spirit, a soul, a nefesh. So Allah is kama, a human being, created, as the questioner points out, B'Tselem Elikim, in the divine image. Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem. Every human being on earth was created in the divine image.
ביטול עבדות החוקית, אז נוצרו מגרעות עכשיו, כי אין אחריות על הנכס הזה. בעזרת השם זה יחזור. הם ירצו הגויים להיות עבדים שלנו. הכי טוב להיות עבד של יהודים. הם שמחים להיות עבדים, רוצים להיות עבדים. במקום שהוא יהיה סתם מסתובב ברחובות ועושה שטויות ואלימות ומזיק אחד לשני. עכשיו הוא עבד, החיים שלו מתחילים להתנהג. הגענו עמים כאלה, בעיות גנטיות. תשאל ערבי פשוט, איפה אתה רוצה להיות? הוא רוצה להיות תחת הכיבוש. למה? כי הם לא, יש להם בעיה גנטית, הם לא יודעים לנהל מדינה, הם לא יודעים לעשות כלום. תראה איך הם נראים.
Unlike an animal, and a divine image is a spirit, a soul. Ruach ha'behem yeredes lamata. Everyone has the animal spirit which descends below, but there's a Ruach ha'adam el lamayla, which is referring again to all human beings. And you see this practically. Every person on earth has transcendent aspirations. It's not just about survival. So then you'll say, 1 second, so what do we, all these things about goyim? So let me suggest the following. There's goyishkeit and there's goyim. You can have a goy that's goyishkeit, a pagan, whose complete life is focused on avodah zarah and self-preservation and self-glorification, lasas leishem, as we learned in the end of Parsha Neyach, when the dead have afloga, when they build the tower. Then that's goyishkeit, yeshus. So goyishkeit, yeshus, that's the war of Torah against yeshus. But if a goy finds himself, as the Rebbe brings in those footnotes in Likutei Sichos, volume 13, as I pointed out, from the Alter Rebbe, that there were non-Jews who became scholars, who separated themselves from material pursuits, who refined themselves in the highest levels, as possible. They are, as the Gemara says, Kikayin Gadol.
I'm going to say it bluntly. What Christianity said about one Jew, when true reality emerges, is really the truth about every Jew. It needs explanation, it needs perspective, we're going to get there, but that's the revolutionary statement. V'gam hanochrim yavdum kelikus, we're talking about when Mashiach comes. The whole world, the Gentile world, are going to serve them as godly. K'dei lahamshich mitzidam, in order to have a relationship with them, to draw from them. Ki yedu they'll know she'ein kirvas elikim kiyim li Yisrael. The closeness to Hashem goes through Yisrael.
Akum she'osik b'teira is like a Kohen Gadol shenichnas l'fnei l'fnim. He's like the Kohen Gadol that enters the Holy of Holies. A Jew, it says, is even higher than that. How could you say that? She says, b'sheva mitzvahs didhu, Rashi says, in the rules and laws that are applied to him. But he's like a Kohen Gadol, like the Rebbe brings there. Ish v'ish, he's not v'ruche. If he committed his life to the divine.
This is what it says in the pasuk, v'am d'zorim. The strangers, meaning the foreigners, the goyim, will get up. V'rot saying they're going to graze their sheep. U'v'nei neichad, and the goyim, ibrechem v'kamechem, are going to take your plow, do the plows and take care of your vineyards. So again, the Gemara's question was.
So there's the concept of goyishkeit, which is yeshus and klipa, which is the key focus, really, the end of chapter 1. Now, there was a time and period in history where goyim were in that state. Maybe the majority even. For sure the majority. But there's a point where they become more refined.
Dear white people, dear Gentiles, you've got to stop. I like you. I don't hate you like the rest of the Jews. But you have to stop. You have to stop with hating Jews. You have to stop with the anti-Semitic comments. You have to stop telling everyone that we're all communists, that we all want to destroy the white race. I mean, yes, it's true. But you shouldn't be telling this to everyone. It makes my people angry. It makes my people do even worse things. Look what happened to Germany after Hitler took over. It was completely destroyed. Look what happened to John F. Kennedy. Look what happened to the Twin Towers. Every time you did something against us, horrible, horrible things happened. So please, stop. So how are you supposed to be saved from the white genocide, you might ask? Well, it is quite simple. Be a Jew. It's not that hard. Convert to Judaism. Be a Jew. That way, you won't have to die like the rest of the Goyim.
And they have the ability to become Chassidim Mesalem. And as the Rebbe brings again that in those footnotes in Chelik Yud Gimel 13, because when a person's Goyishkeit, which is Avodah Zarah, which is complete self-focus, apare, and amolek, and so on, which was the part of history which says, Lo yitiyeh k'maisa knani, so many psukim and so many mitzvahs in the Torah, not to be maisa knani, which was paganism, that's very much captured there. But then a goy can become a Chassidim Mesalem, and that's a whole different discussion.
Again, I think that the biggest question, maybe in economics and politics of the coming decades, will be what to do with all these useless people.
Well, if you're gonna pass out, let me know. Okay. Hey, you okay? Help me out. Do I have to get her to my ear?
Where's your military bearing at? Come here. Sit down. Hey, sit down. Put your back up against that refrigerator now. Put your back up against the refrigerator now. Sit down now. Sit down. All right, come on. Let's go. All the way down. All the way down.
My dear and beloved Chevra, the Ribono Shel Olam has given us a gift, a very precious gift. It's called the COVID-19 vaccines.
Vaccines have allowed us to reopen
and to enjoy Simcha safely again.
With all of the data, we clearly see just how safe and effective these vaccines are for all populations,
including the elderly, those with underlying health conditions, and pregnant and nursing women.
Due to so many people being vaccinated, the number of hospitalizations and deaths decreased greatly since the vaccines were released.
But the numbers of COVID-19 cases are spiking again. And in New York, almost all deaths due to COVID-19 are in unvaccinated individuals.
Unvaccinated people die.
They die.
We haven't lived through enough. We should live in Europe. It's not together, but Shingadog. For we in the community have to realize that if 99% of doctors say take the shot, we take the shot. What's the shile over here? Are we playing games?
The Torah says, "V'rapo yirape." When it pertains to matters of health, you have to follow the doctors.
So let's all feel comfortable yet again, davening in shul, going back to yeshivas, Spartak and Asiyas, Spartim and Roshas.
Please take achrayus for your neighbor's health as well as your own. Nafshei Seichem is in the plural. When we take the vaccine, we're helping everybody, and that's a double mitzvah.
There is unfortunately a lot of misinformation circulating.
But it's important to know the truth.
After over a year of research, clinical trials, and the actual vaccines in use,
we see no evidence of any kind of negative outcomes for fertility and no evidence of increased risk to women of childbearing age.
We are a cohesive community.
And the very best way to ensure our health and safety is with one united, harmonious voice.
One voice.
One voice.
One voice. Gedolei Yisrael have urged us all to take the vaccine. We need to follow in their footsteps.
Cases are spiking in every state.
Let's not add the 5 towns in New York City, Khalilah, to that list.
We want to celebrate the Yom Tovim responsibly.
Get vaccinated now.
Get vaccinated now.
Get vaccinated now.
Right now. Why are you still waiting? Please get vaccinated today. Let's do it as soon as we can.
Get vaccinated now.
Please get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated. Get it done. That's what the doctors and Rabbanim want us to do. Let's go.
Be smart. Be responsible. Get vaccinated.
This still doesn't make him a Jew. There's still Atav V'Chatanu, and there's the Havdalah ben Yisrael Amim. 2 different focuses. Being that this is a broader topic, I don't want to continue more. I'll just throw out a few more sikhs. Noyach, Chelik Tezvov, the Rebbe speaks about Akum, Sheshovas. The difference why a goy is not supposed to keep Shabbos and a Jew, yes. Look at that, that's number 1. Another sikh about Ribis, why you're not allowed to take Ribis Ma'achicha from a Jew, but it's a mitzvah to take Ribis, which is interest, from a non-Jew. There's a beautiful sikh on that, and I commit to talking about this more in coming episodes. I'll stop here for this episode. So I hope I answered the question to some extent.